So today we're going to talk about the most recent elections that have happened and how it's going to impact you, if at all, and how we have to be conscious and aware of government overreach and how we need to focus on ourselves, our family, and our community to make a better lives for those around us and our own selves. Thank you.
Good day. My name is David Fusco. And in this show, I'm going to talk about business, finance, and how to survive and thrive in this crazy environment that we're living in today. Welcome to my show.
Good day and happy November 11th, Veterans Day in the United States. Thank you to all my fellow brother and sister veterans for what you've done, and for those that are still serving, that what you are doing. Without them, there is no nation. It's now about a week or so almost after the election, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that and how that might change anything or everything. Of course, there's the two-party system, and, some of us root for one party versus the other party. Some people are in between, and, they can measure both sides. Some people are extremely extreme on one side or the other. And that's just part of the makeup of the nation and the human beings that we are. But we got to remember is that assuming and expecting a leader make things better for you is not necessarily always an option. Keep in mind, I use the expression, it's above my pay grade. You need to focus on the things that you can do and you can control. The Trump win going to be a great thing? Is it going to be a bad thing? It's only time's going to tell. Hopefully, we don't get caught up in another several years of stonewalling and non-movement, or lives move on, or aging gets more. We have a particular thing that we need to get done. Of course, we got to serve our family and serve ourselves and take care of our loved ones. But you're not going to do it by focusing on political events. Before the election, I already made up my mind that it doesn't matter who wins ultimately. I still have to put in the work. I still have to put in the work for myself, put in the work for my business, and put in the work for my goals and ambitions. Focusing on distractions, whether it's the political agendas or anything for that matter, just getting lost in the world of, endless scrolling on TikTok, you're going to go nowhere. So if you want to improve your life, you want to improve your financial status, you want to improve your connections with people, with God, the universe, whatever word you want to use, you need to put in that work and focus on the things that you can do and you can control. Can I individually control the outcome of an election? No, I cannot. I'm just one of many millions of voices. But I can control, or have at least some semblance of control over my own self, and I can help impact in a positive way the people around me. And that's really where you should keep your focus. Don't get caught up in the who's going to be appointed to this cabinet or that cabinet. Ultimately, things are going to move forward. And if you've been around long enough, you've seen that the left-right paradigm shifts back and forth, back and forth. We need to focus on the things that we can do to improve ourselves and improve our lot in life, and to help impact in a positive way the people around us. I was in the military. I served the government. I'm a tax preparer, so in a way I'm serving the government also in that respect. But, you need to do things and focus on the things that you can handle. And one thing that I've noticed over the decades now of life is that more and more things get taken under control by government agencies. Growing up, there was no Department of Education. There was no Department of, I don't even know the different names, but there are so many darn departments now federalizing things. And, the people in different segments of the country have different needs. So federalizing something is lovely, I guess, if you're a bureaucrat, but it doesn't necessarily help the local communities. And, I'm watching different government overreach, and some people have maybe heard about, I thought it was a joke originally when I saw it on the cover sheet of the local newspaper when it was at the deli, and it was talking about Peanut the Squirrel is executed. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? Made no sense to me. And then, of course, a lot of videos have popped up and shorts have popped up talking about how a couple that lived in upstate New York who had a farm dedicated, 300 acres, I believe, dedicated to helping animals. And, they had a squirrel. They named it Peanut. It was a squirrel supposedly who the owner had, saw the mother get hit by a car and killed, and he took the squirrel in and he raised it. He also had many other animals that he sheltered at his farm, him and his wife. And apparently somebody didn't like something about what he was doing. He put together all kinds of content, and apparently it was something very popular. Never heard of it prior to seeing the cover sheet in the newspaper in the deli. And what happened was this person made a complaint that, hey, this person has a wild animal in their house. So the state of New York shows up from the Department of Environmental Control. And from what I've read, they show up with 10 agents. They ransacked the person's home. They spent several hours there questioning them, questioning his wife's immigration status. And they ended up taking his squirrel, this little squirrel that he had saved, and a raccoon. I think it was Fred the raccoon. And they decided it was necessary to kill them, euthanize, a nice word, to test them if they had rabies. This squirrel lived in the man's house, and I don't know how long this raccoon was there, but for several years. And it's like, if there was going to be rabies, you would have seen it. And it's like, why? Why did they need to go in there like a Gestapo, 10 men, armed, into a house in a rural area to take a man's pets and then spend several hours probably scaring the crap out of the people, and then taking their pets and killing them and taking away their livelihood or part of their livelihood, which, if I'm not wrong from what I've read, again, is this, the antics that he would play with the squirrel and his other animals would help raise money on the YouTubes and whatever the channels they were posting on to help pay for the costs of the 300-acre upstate farm, which was dedicated to serving animals. And, it's this type of aggressive overreach, it's the old just following orders. And, have we not learned from history, just following orders is not necessarily the right thing to do? We know what happened in World War II with that, and probably pretty much every war, just following orders. It's not really an excuse. I guess it maybe helps them clear their conscience in some fashion or another. People just want to be left alone. They want to take care of themselves and their families. And that's why I'm saying use the opportunity of whatever amount of time you have ahead of you as far as getting yourself in a better condition physically, getting yourself in a better condition mentally, psychologically, financially, and, don't be wasteful, and just be ready that, at some point, maybe we're just in a little reprieve, like that eye of the storm for who knows how long, could be days, could be years, but either way, we're kind of, go right back into that storm. We're in a time of change. It's not unsimilar to every 80 to 100 year cycle. If you just go back in history, I talked about a book called The Fourth Turning, that if you want to read it, it's excellent, by Howie and Strauss. And it talks about how every 80 to 100 years we go through these same cycles. And we're in one of those cycles. We're in what they call the winter stage. Get ready, be prepared, use the opportunity of the time we have to build your finances, your strength, and your connections. That's the most important thing, is really connections with other people. Don't let the propaganda machine disconnect you. love your neighbors. They're more alike to you than the people that dictate us rules. So that's what I have to say today. We have a lot of opportunities ahead, so let's get the day. Thank you.